Hello, this is Ryan from Amnesty, and I'm going to show you Wu Zetian, can't pronounce that name, or China. I'll tell you about the victory condition I'd recommend if you were to play as China, the social policies I'd recommend, along with the two special units that they get, or in this case a special unit and a special building. So you will have the Art of War, which means the Great General combat bonus is increased by 15% and their spawn rate is increased by 50%. So really that just tells you that you are going to want to fight. Now, funny enough, the AI that plays as China generally isn't that expansive. Sometimes she is, but most of the time she isn't. Normally you'll end up seeing her with one city for the longest time ever. And you will wonder, what is she doing? And I'm right there with you. I do not exactly know what she's doing, because you should never play the way that she plays, because that's just kind of silly. So, the number one thing I'd recommend is a domination victory. China will be a great civilization to play when wanting to take over the world. Not only that, but they are the most populous people in the world. So, you will want to take over the world because you'll easily be able to do so. The Chukuno, probably pronounced that wrong as well, is very, very helpful in achieving so, because they will be able to just absolutely obliterate things in their era. Plus, you'll have great generals with you, so they'll be even stronger than they are normally. So you'll be able to take over things extremely well. So that is the highly recommended thing, is China. Highly, highly recommended. Now, the second choice, which isn't highly recommended, but it is recommended, is science. It is a close between domination to an extent, because the papermaker unique building that you have will end up getting you extra money on top of science. So every city that you have, you're going to need to build that. And you really do need to build that, because you will get tons of money. So things that you conquer, you'll be able to pay for it with the papermaker building. Also, when you conquer things and take over cities and capitals, you'll end up getting more science, you'll have more people with you, and hopefully you retain your happiness to a point, which is good. So if you have high happiness still, you'll still be creating people in your cities, meaning you'll be able to have more science. So I would highly recommend science as well. And then the third one is a diplomatic victory, which isn't exactly the one I'd go for. It's somewhat recommended. The one with that is more or less being friends with some people and just pick and choosing people you want to go to war with. If you know everybody hates that AI person, they denounce them, you get everybody up, you rally them, you go attack, you go in there, and you take over. You pillage, conquer, take what you need, and then you leave. So you kind of do it that way. So that way you have good relations with everybody else. I really wouldn't recommend going into a patronage tree, but if you have to, do it. Just get some city-states. I really wouldn't recommend diplomatic, but yeah, it's definitely possible. So, and then the least of them all is apparently Wu Zetian's favorite thing, is to stay small and be cultural. That is the worst option that you're going to want to choose, because you have such a great ability to go out and dominate and be large and just dominate, and staying small is never a good idea. You don't have any personality trait that helps you with a cultural victory, so I really wouldn't recommend that one. So now I will show you the Chukonu and the papermaker. The Chukunu will cost you 120 production with 240 faith. He is an archery unit. He's got a combat of 13, a range combat of 14, a range of 2, a movement of 2. He may not melee attack. That's obvious. He's not going to smack you with a big old crossbow. Although he can, it won't kill you. In most cases it won't. And he may attack twice, which is the biggest bonus to this guy. So essentially you'll be able to attack once, hit a unit, hit him again. And usually you end up killing him. That ability is extremely helpful when attacking cities. He pretty much acts as a catapult for the time, or to some extent trebuchet, because they're able to hit it twice. Being able to hit it twice means you're just as potent as a siege unit. So these guys are extremely beneficial. You want to build a lot of them. With that great general, they're close to unstoppable. So the unique building will be the papermaker, which means you'll get 2 gold out of it. It will cost you 75 production, and you still will get that +1 science for every 2 citizens in the city. So it's essentially a library, and just smack on +2 gold, which is huge, because rather than maintaining the building, you're getting money back. So it's extremely important to have that. So now that you know all that, I will show you the social policies I'd recommend if you were to play as China. Before I show you any social policies, I will talk to you about China's start bias. This is a good one. You're near marsh. Actually, generally you'll be near jungle, not so much forest. But you will be near spices. You will be near cotton. You will be near oranges, sometimes kind of a jungle mix of resources, which is just native to China, considering most of China is jungle and somewhat of desert. So, now that we got that out of the way, I will talk to you about social policy I'd recommend if you were to play as China, and that is obviously going to be liberty. You are going to want to expand like a madman, because you're going to want to take over, you're going to want to dominate, and we're going to take over capitals. So, you will get a worker, and the worker will work 25% faster. You'll get a settler, and then the settlers produced in your capital will be produced 50% quicker. You'll get more work out of your cities. You'll get a golden age, and if you fill out the entire tree, which I recommend, you're going to get a free great person of your choice. And hell, if you really want to, just go all for it. Go for a great general and just rampage over things. Granted, you'll get great generals very quickly, so I really wouldn't recommend that, to be honest. So, more or less a great scientist, great engineer, or something else if you want to go with that other great person if you really need it. So, there are also other ones that I could recommend, but quite honestly, it's more situational. Really, liberty is going to be the backbone of China when you play as them. Now, you're not going to really want to play culturally. That's why I don't really go towards tradition or any kind of cultural related social policies, because, again, you're going to want to expand, take over, conquer. So, thank you for watching my video on China. Please rate, subscribe, and comment, and check out my other